be a master of Pokémon. Do you have the skills to be number one? I wanna take the ultimate step, find the courage to be Pokemon, to risk it all and not forget the lessons that I hold.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 110 of the Pokémon Snapshot. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
Well, I'm nice and sunburned, Jeff. How's it going?
Sunburn? Is there actually sun over there?
We took our kids to a soccer match yesterday, and it said it was supposed to be cloudy all day on the weather, but I'm stupid and didn't bring my special sunscreen that I have to wear because, of course, I have to wear special sunscreen because normal sunscreen will give me skin cancer, but if I don't wear sunscreen at all, the sun's going to give me skin cancer. So, it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation. But this time I didn't, and now I'm sunburned. I'm only on my face.
Only on your face?
If you're watching on the video, you can probably see the line a little bit from where my hair covered my face, and it's still pasty white, and the rest of my face is red.
Well, better weather than we have over here. So on Monday, it was 71 degrees, which is wonderful. And then today I walk outside, and I'm like, there are snowflakes falling.
Yeah, it got really cold just out of nowhere yesterday, too.
Yeah, it didn't stick or anything, but there was a few snowflakes falling today, and I'm like, what?
Whiplash.
And those of you who remember me last week saying there was a thunderstorm while we were recording, I found out the next morning that there was a tornado about an hour and a half from me. Well, that was a thing. Good thing Josh wasn't here. As we all know, he's terrified of tornadoes.
Yeah, bro, I'm in Alabama. It's like Tornado Alley. Well, I think that's in Oklahoma, but whatever.
Yeah, you're not in Tornado Alley.
I mean, we're a big tornado state. We love our naders here.
All right, well, what have you been up to?
I've been reading a lot. I'm proud of myself. Yeah, I'm currently reading The Lathe of Heaven by Ursula K. Le Guin. It's pretty good. What else did I read? I don't know. I've been on a time travel kick. So I read a couple books about time travel and stuff like that. So
I need to get back to reading. I mean, I do read to my daughters. Zoe usually is picture books, but Kyrie and I have been going through the robot one. Wow, the name's escaping me.
The robot one?
The Wild Robot. That's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah,
I Am Legend. What's the other Will Smith? iRobot. That's what I was thinking of. It's the only robot one I could think of.
Wild Wild West also has robots.
Yeah, it's like a steampunk thing.
Yeah, but we have been reading The Wild Robot. We are on the second book, which is The Wild Robot Escapes.
Okay.
I also recommend the movie.
Is the third one The Wild Robot Returns?
Something like that. I actually don't know. I'd have to look. But myself, as I said, I haven't really been reading. I've been playing a couple of new video games I've gotten over the last week.
Wow, you never play video games.
I never play video games. Nope. The surprise. No, I'll talk about both of them because I kind of want to rant about one of them. The first one I don't want to rant about, and that's Pokopia, which I am still playing. I don't know if I'm going to beat it, and not because it's not a good game. It's because that just isn't a game I put a lot of work into.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun building a habitat and seeing which Pokemon comes out. I like the Pokemon's personalities. For example, I have a Bulbasaur, and he's a creeper.
Just like all Bulbasaur, they're all weird stalkers.
Well, here's the thing. So I come out of like my little house, and the first thing I notice is Bulbasaur and Squirtle are talking to each other. I'm like, oh, cool. And you can go over and talk, and you can see what their conversation was. They stop their conversation, and Bulbasaur turns to me and goes, I like the way Squirtle smells.
I mean, the whole premise of last week's episode was Bulbasaur being a creeper, so I guess it's in character.
Yeah. And then he started following me, and I'm like, Bulbasaur, you need to step back.
Stage 5 Klinger.
Also, another funny incident I've had in this game is one time I came out of my house and literally Hitmonlee is just standing outside of it with a question mark above his head. I'm like, and I feel like if you come out of any place, the scariest Pokemon to be staring at you is a Hitmonlee. He only has eyes. So I'm enjoying it. I'm on the second area where they introduce cooking. So I can find all these things to cook, but we'll see how much longer I play. My daughter played a little bit. I think she'll get more out of it than I am.
Yeah, I've never understood cooking in video games because it's like, I understand a lot of people like cooking or love cooking in real life. I am not one of those people. I hate cooking, so I definitely don't want to cook in a video game.
And then the other game I've been playing, so I've said many times on this podcast, I am a professional wrestling fan, and I do get excited when the new WWE game comes out every year. So
Mhm.
I've been playing 2K26, but man, have they made it stupid this year. And I'm
Why?
not talking about the game. The game's real good. Like they brought in different physics, different matches. That stuff's all cool. What I don't like is, so when I buy a WWE game, you can get the base game, which used to be $60, now $70 because all games have
Mhm.
gone up in price.
Mhm.
And then you would pay like $30 for they called the ringside pass or whatever. All the DLC, which are the wrestlers they're going to introduce throughout the year.
Right.
There's usually like 5 packs and you usually get about 4 wrestlers. So you get like 20 extra wrestlers. I usually just buy the special edition because I like playing with all the other wrestlers as they come out through the year,
Mhm.
which is fine. They did the same thing, except this year they introduced what is known as a battle pass.
What is that?
So, like
Wrestlers
Fortnite.
wrestlers don't battle. It's
Yeah,
weird to
well,
a
it's
call it
it's
a
like a
battle
battle.
for a
It's
wrestling
not a
game.
battle pass. It's the ringside pass, but it's
Okay.
like a battle pass, like you would
Right.
get in Fortnite. So I pay this extra money, which is more expensive than it's been in previous years,
Mhm.
to get these extra wrestlers. But here's the thing. When I pay my money, I can't even use these new wrestlers because I have to play the game in order to earn experience to unlock them.
So you have to fight to unlock them, but then you also have to pay to unlock them?
It was so bad. Kay updated the game yesterday,
Uh-huh.
and you now earn 20% more experience because people were complaining about having to unlock because it took too long to unlock them.
That's insane.
the f- and the game has all these different modes. You have your story mode, which they call it My Rise. They always do what is called a showcase mode, where they showcase a certain wrestler and you can play through matches in his history, which is
Yeah.
cool. And you get experience in all those modes. But the problem is, this is just the first out of 6 of these.
Bro,
So
that's such a scam. These greedy video game. I mean, it's every corporation.
yeah, so the first one's fine because people are playing all these different modes, so you're going to be earning it.
Yeah.
But by the time Ringside Pass Season 2 comes out and the next 4 wrestlers are able, and I actually am more interested in wrestlers down the line than I am in the ones in the first pack.
They did that on purpose.
Yeah, but now I don't have the showcase mode, I don't have the
Yeah.
story mode because I've beaten them all. So I'm just supposed to play matches.
Yeah. That's so
Which
stupid.
I still do because they do have universe mode where you control your universe, and
Mhm.
I have learned I use ChatGPT to give me, like, actual storylines, so it's more
Right.
than just me playing matches.
Mm.
So that's
Fun.
fun. But yeah, those are the 2 games I've been playing. 2 complete opposite games.
Very different games.
Yeah. Alright, let's go into some Pokemon news, and I had again, it's weird Pokemon news. We haven't really gotten any big Pokemon I mean,
Yeah. We're
traditional Pokemon news.
Yeah, we're recording on Thursday too, and we've been recording on Fridays, and all the big Pokemon news would drop like like late Thursday night or like early on Friday morning. So we're probably gonna get some huge Pokemon news. Logan Paul's gonna break into the person who bought his Pokemon card. He's gonna
And steal
break
it
into
back.
their house. Yeah, and steal it back and then sell it for twice as much.
Because
He's gonna
he can't afford to play as himself in WWE 2K26 because they raised the price. So yeah, so our Pokemon news for this week. The first one is Nintendo shares have shot up 18% after Pocopia's release.
wow.
And Pocopia has sold 2.2 million units in its first 4 days.
Yeah, I feel like based on the stuff I read about it, people were pretty surprised by how good the game is.
Yeah, it's the highest rated Pokemon game on Metacritic. And
That's
don't get me wrong,
crazy.
I can see why people I wouldn't rate it as high because it's not my type of game.
Right.
But I played it just
But
so
it is a well-made game though.
it is a well-made game, and some people are even saying it's better than Animal Crossing.
Wow. See, I like when they they make different kinds of games. Like those games are always cool. Like when they do like a completely different concept just set in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
Always
Well,
like that.
when it comes to any game, I am happy if a game's considered really good, even if it's not a game I would
Right.
play.
Yeah.
Our next bit of Pokemon news, the Field Museum in Chicago opened up pre-orders for tickets to its Pokemon exhibit, and it caused the website to crash.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can get to go to that.
That would be
Chicago's
cool.
only about a 4.5 hour drive for me. We're trying to just plan it out. I did reach out to them, but I haven't heard anything back.
Do you know how long they're gonna have the exhibit open?
I think it's till next July, so it's open
Okay.
for about a year and a half or
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
So it's there for a while. I want to go see. It seems really cool, but of course, anything Pokemon's going to cause an influx, and that's just for the May opening. So I'm sure it'll be easier to get into as the dates go further down.
Right. Yeah.
And then the last bit of news I saw was the Pokemon Company is recruiting PhD holders with backgrounds in ecology to work in Tokyo. Do you think that's to help create like new Pokemon and make it as lifelike as possible?
Maybe. Maybe they're making like a big Pokemon dome and they're gonna use augmented reality.
Maybe.
Or hold on, or they've actually made Pokemon.
They actually made
Real
Pokemon
live Pokemon, yeah.
and they need
And it-
ecologists to take care of them.
correct. And like build the habitats that they'll live in.
Okay, so they might be hiring some zoologists next.
Hmm.
But the only reason I put these stats in here because it shows how great Japan jobs are. So this is a part-time job. It says this job is based at Roppongi Hills Mori Tower in Tokyo with flexible hours, core time from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., so 4 hours.
Oh, that's like dream work hours
Yeah.
for me. Not having to go in until 11 is like the best thing I've ever heard.
Deemed overtime of 25 hours per month included in the salary and 120 annual holidays plus paid leave.
Whoa.
The salary is 40. They gave it a yen, but they approximated it to about $40,000 to $66,700 for a part-time job.
I could live on $1,000. I make a decent bit more than that now, but I can make it work.
Josh and I are heading to get our PhDs in ecology.
We're off to Tokyo.
All right. So that is our Pokemon news for this week. Let's go on to our question of the week, which was when you visit a city, what is the first place you visit? Kate said the first thing I check out in a new city is finding the hole in the wall restaurant full of locals. They always have the best food. I also check out the local museums. My favorite one so far is the Natural History Museum in Winnipeg. They have a fossil of a giant sloth. It's huge. They also have a whole pirate ship inside.
That's fun.
Yeah, hole in the wall restaurants are great. We went
agreed.
to some of those when I was in Japan, and it was so interesting because I'm pretty sure one of these restaurants we went to could only sit like 6 people.
Nice.
And it was one of those with like the low tables. You had to take your shoes off when you sat at the table. We're pretty sure that it felt like just like family members were inside eating there as we were eating in there.
That's cool. And I bet the food was delicious.
Yeah, honestly, I don't remember the food, but I'm sure it was. And then Manhunter said, when I traveled in California, the first thing I do is find out where the nearest In-N-Out Burger and Froyo are. Otherwise, I plan things out fairly precisely as to our day-to-day schedule. If a place is closed, it's a mad scramble to figure out where we're eating. Oftentimes, if the hotel is the first place we go, it's to take a nap.
Those are both much better answers than mine, than where I would,
The
first place I
bathroom?
would visit. Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I'm with you. Sometimes after traveling, Jesse gets so mad at me because we'll open the hotel and the first thing I do is just plop and lay down on the bed. I'm like, I'm out. Bye. All right, going on to some comments we got from this week on some of our videos. Carolina King. Oh, these were because of the episode about the ACE study about the most searched Pokemon. Carolina King 22 said probably because of Pokemon Go, which, yeah, it could have been because of Pokemon Go.
Like the list of the most searched Pokemon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also, they were all Gen 1 except for the 4 we talked about. Rose Asuko said, I didn't expect Gardevoir and Lopunny in the double digits. I expected it to be higher. So she had less faith in humanity than we had.
Yeah.
A Flip Face 4 just talked about Flamigo a little bit. He said
Flip.
Flamigo is actually so cool. A flying fighting type based on a highly aggressive and territorial bird. Beak designed to have a swollen upper lip look and a boxing glove shaped body. And the name being Amigo because of the region being Spain. And he also said, I am a Lopunny defender. It hits like a truck in the game. It was clearly meant to be based on fashion model stuff, giving Baneri's designer clothes aspect. It doesn't change the fact that that's what people are searching for, and we know where they're not searching for it because it's a good game Pokemon.
Flip Face, have you ever been on the internet before? They are not searching in good faith, my man.
All right, let's go on to our next segment.
Education.
All right, Kate added a few things. She says, I'm glad you mentioned the fatbergs. Baby wipes stick to them and make giant blockages.
I I feel like they had when they put out this information, they had to have like a committee of people sitting around and it's like, what are we gonna call these large bergs in our sewer system? And the best they could come up with was Fatberg. It feels like an adult comedy from the 90s. It sounds like this Thursday night, watch the Fatbergs.
I
What
do
will
want to,
what will Horace Fatberg do this week?
I do want to add that it is a good idea to not flush your baby wipes. We've actually accidentally had one flushed and it got stuck in our sump pump. Don't do that. And then Kate also said, I know a lot about voltage and amperage because I did a tough mutter and was intimidated by the 10,000 volt live wires they use.
All right, hold on. We need more education within the education. What is a tough mutter?
I know this. Well, kind of. A tough mutter is like a race, but it's almost like an obstacle course, but you have to be very buff to do it. So they have
So
you
you
like,
have to be tough in the mud?
yeah.
Oh,
It
okay,
usually
okay,
has
okay.
mud. You're usually going under. It's usually like a 10K or something.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So she also had she read up on it. She did learn basic electric safety from her grandfather when she was a kid, but it was basically a course in how not to die while changing a light switch. I almost read that as how not to die while changing a light bulb, which
You would find a way, Jeff.
I would.
You did break your ankle while you were asleep that one time.
I did, and I have it's not from last week, and I have a scar on my knuckle where I accidentally punched the side of my house trying to take a nozzle off my hose. Started bleeding, and that nozzle is still on the hose because I can't get it off. Um, all right, so don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Snapshot or send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We post short clips on both platforms, and if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, Josh, let's go on to our next segment.
Previously on Pokemon.
All right. Last week, Team Ash finally reached the massive city of Trovitopolis and immediately fall straight into its sewer system thanks to Team Rocket blowing themselves up with their own trap. Down in the tunnels, they encounter a mysterious vine-welding monster that drags Bulbasaur, Misty, and Togepi into the sewer water, setting off a citywide panic led by a mayor who's more worried about re-election than the giant creature under his streets. While the mayor sends his heavily armed task force into the sewers to deal with the problem, Ash dives into what we can only describe as the most disgusting rescue mission in Pokemon history, complete with Muck navigating the sludge. In the end, the terrifying sewer monster turns out to be nothing more than a giant abandoned Bulbasaur wearing a bell, left there years ago by the mayor himself, finally solving this poop water-filled mystery.
And it was, I don't know.
Full of poop water,
Yeah.
including most of the stuff the mayor said.
Yeah. Just cut that out. I'm gonna pause and then we can move into the next section.
Okay.
I had a joke and then before I fired it off, I was like, this is not a good joke. And then I had to abandon it.
All right, so Josh, let's get into this week's episode. And this week's episode is titled Misty Meets Her Match, or as it was known in Japanese, Trovita Gym, a 3-on-3 type battle. It aired on July 1st, 1999 in Japan and on September 9th, 2000 in the United States. Notice that our last episodes came in May, so we skipped the summer. When we get to Pokemon the movie 2000, we actually are going to go back somewhere because that movie's already come out. I explain that later in the episode, though. So we will go on. Some world news around that time. The number one movie of that week was The Watcher. Have you heard
No
of that
idea what
movie?
that is. No.
Nope.
But I have heard of this next movie.
I know. I did put number 2 because I've heard of that one, which was Bring It On. I'm sure that's one of those movies that probably has not aged well with time.
I've never seen it, and I'm sure you're right.
The number one song of the week, which we're using the top 100, was Doesn't Really Matter by Janet.
Which Janet?
I don't know. Just by Janet.
Just Janet.
Just Janet. That's what the page I used said. If you can figure out which Janet let me know. And no video games came out that week, at least prominent
None?
video games. None. I mean, it is September, the beginning of September. That's usually not
Oh.
prime video game time. All right, Josh, let's get into this week's episode.
This week's episode is Misty Meets Her Match. As the episode begins, Team Ash is riding a ferry out to Trovita Island, and finally, we're going to make it to the Trovita Gym. Suddenly, they see some stupid little girl and her seal drowning, and they're probably going to get swept up in some distraction quest after they save her, and we're never going to make it to the Trovita Gym, are we?
I think you asked that question prematurely, so let's just...
Yeah, we will make it, but not in the way that we think. As the little girl takes on water, that takes us to the title card.
Misty Meets Her Match.
Before we go on, I want to point out that while they are on this boat going to Trovita Island, Ash looks out into the ocean and he looks up and goes, "What are those spiky things?" And Not Brock goes, "Those are rocks?" I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but that's what he's thinking.
I
You
mean-
know that's what he's thinking.
Yeah. I mean, in fairness, they're weird looking rocks.
Yeah, but they're rocks. I mean, anyone could have told you they were rocks. He does go into an explanation that they formed millions of years ago when Trovita Island rose from the ocean floor. All I thought of when he was saying this was that island from the ocean in Aladdin and the King of Thieves. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've not seen that one.
You've never seen Aladdin and the King of Thieves?
No.
Well, most straight to VHS sequels sucked at the time, but that was always one of my favorites. And
Okay, cool.
they go to this island, there's a relic, and you just see it rise out of the ocean.
Okay, that's cool. As far as the direct to DVD or VHS Disney movies go, Lion King 1.5 was always my favorite.
That's a good one too, because that's the one from Timon and Pumbaa's
Yeah,
point
yeah,
of
it's
view.
fantastic. Misty throws out Staryu and rides in to save the girl because kids are stupid. No offense to the kids out there. We've all been there. We were all kids once and we were all stupid. Meanwhile, some fancy boy watches from a nearby cliff since he is also looking for the little girl who turns out to be his sister. He zooms his binoculars in on Misty and it's love at first sight.
He completely forgot his sister was drowning. He just starts paying attention to Misty through those binoculars. He's like, "Oh, ooh, there. Oh, well, okay."
Nearby, Team Rocket and their Magikarp submarine have spotted Team Ash, so they go full steam ahead, but they're caught in a whirlpool. Team Rocket is going to be taking a lot of L's in this episode. I'm not really a fan of it.
Yeah, and as I've said before, I just wish the writers would just not use Team Rocket if there's no point for them in the plot. And we see this a lot during gym episodes, just because we're focusing on Ash getting his next gem. There's not ever really time for Team Rocket.
Ash and Misty interrogate the little girl, whose name is Mari, about why she thought swimming alone was a good idea.
And kids, that is like the *1 rule of swimming. You don't swim alone. Look at that. We can do some education.
There we go.
The
We
number
might have saved a life tonight, Jeff.
might save a life.
There was
probably someone putting like their AirPod in, getting ready to go swimming, like, "Oh wait, I'm by myself. Maybe I shouldn't do this." The *2 rule is you must wait 30 minutes after eating, but I'm going to give you all a secret. That's a lie your parents tell you because they don't want to eat and then immediately have to watch you in the water.
I'm telling you, kids, your parents lie to you a lot about a lot of things.
But this is like the biggest one I think every parent tells you.
Oh, for sure. Fancy Boy and his fancy posse, you have to say that one really slow so the YouTube auto censors don't get you, show up to greet Mari, who is his sister, like I said, and Team Ash. Fancy Boy asks Misty's name and then starts love bombing her. He gives her an assortment of flowers, plays music, and whisks her away to dance while complimenting her Pokemon training ability.
He doesn't even ask permission first. He just grabs her without consent.
Classic. It turns out that H.R. McFancypants is the Trovita Island gym leader, and he wants Misty to stay there and train others with water-type Pokemon. He's not made out to be a villain in this episode or anything. I mean, other than being the gym leader, he's not really made out to be a bad guy. But isn't it a little sketchy that he hits on her and then basically offers her a job? Like, every good creepy boss knows that you give them the job first and then start hitting on them once they've signed the NDA. Just ask Michael Bloomberg. So next, I was thinking, like, is there any information about age limits on gym leaders? Just because, like, this dude can't be more than 14. And Misty herself is like, how old is Misty? Like 10?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I find it strange that children can be gym leaders because, as we've already established, kids are really dumb.
I tried to research stuff, but there wasn't anything I could find about the age limits of gym leaders. It looks like Misty is young on the younger side, which makes Fancy Boy's advances even creepier.
Right.
Brock was also a gym leader, and he probably around 14 or 15.
I'm around like 14-year-olds every day. I would not put them in charge of anything, much less like a city's Pokemon gym. They would have burned the city to the ground. Ash and Not Brock are dumbfounded by Fancy Boy's advances on Misty. Ash immediately hates the guy for obvious reasons, and Fancy Boy gives him an attitude right back. His name is Rudy, and he's just one of those type of dudes. There's a certain type of dude, and you know it when you see it. Ash starts showing off his badges, but Rudy says Ash will have to pass some test before they battle.
So in the scene, Ash tells him, I've already won 2 Orange League badges from trainers that were tougher than you look. And you heard it here first, folks. Ash thinks that dancers are sissies. When actually Rudy could probably crush him with his thighs. I mean, have you seen dance shoes? It takes a real man to wear those all day.
Yeah, those thunder thighs will crush Ash's little tiny baby head.
While I'm here, I want to talk about something I don't think I have brought up before. So, when we're looking at the Orange Islands, in the Japanese, the Orange Islands are called the Southern Islands, and the gym leaders are known as the Southern Cross, since that constellation has 4 main points. It's actually a real world constellation used in the Southern Hemisphere, similar to how us in the Northern Hemisphere use the North Star. So, like, it always leads you towards the south. Because of that, so each gym leader introduced themselves by naming which star they represent. For example, Rudy refers to himself as the Southern Star of the Southern Cross, which I think is kind of cool, and I don't know
That
why
is
they
cool.
took that out.
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool.
Also, I didn't know where else to add this. Rudy's Japanese name is Ziggy, which I just think is funny.
You know what, Jeff? I think that might constitute as a lore dump.
There we go.
We kind of lore dumped in our pants on that one because we didn't announce it first. We didn't make it there first, but I'm happy we haven't had a good lore dump in several weeks.
No, so that there you go. I'm always here for the lore dumps.
There we go.
I love dumping for our fans.
Rudy takes them out in a speedboat, roaring down the river at breakneck speeds. As they speed down the river, targets appear, and Ash's Pokemon have to hit every target in order to prove his worthiness for a gym battle. But honestly, I think Rudy just kind of wants to show his boat off to Misty.
Notice how he strategically placed Misty so he had to reach behind her to steer the rudder of the boat?
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old movie theater trick. You know what I'm talking about, Josh, right?
For sure. It's also like the stop short where you slam on the brakes and you stop short and you got to put your arm out
Okay.
to protect them.
So I'm thinking of you need to go to the movies you go to is you go to Pirates of the Caribbean, Peter Pan's a good one. Maybe if they air some episodes of One Piece in the theaters, and then you always ask them, do you want to wear your parrot on this shoulder or that shoulder?
Yep. There you go. Jeff pulled the same thing on me when we went to see Spider-Man 2. The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. But Josh, like, there's no parrots.
It was okay with me. Pikachu hits the first target, which explodes like it's loaded with tannerite. Do you know what tannerite is, Jeff?
I do not.
So it's basically an exploding target. Like people, like when they go to shoot targets with guns and stuff, they'll put
Okay.
tannerite in the target, and it will explode when you hit it. So the only time I've ever shot at a tannerite target, I was shooting basically like a sniper rifle, and I hit it, and it explodes, and I don't think I've ever felt cooler in my entire life. I'm not even like a big gun guy, but you have never felt the rush of adrenaline as when you shoot a target that explodes. It's like you're in a video game. He turns around to see if Rudy saw him hit the target, but Rudy is too busy peppering Misty with one-liners like, "Your eyes are like diamonds, but lovelier." And all I have to say to that is, Ash is mad that Rudy is macking on his girl, and then accidentally throws out Charizard, who breathes fire all over the boat, burning Misty.
Even during this, Knockbrock goes, Charizard? What did you choose Charizard for, Ash? Knockbrock, as much as I usually hate on him, he's making some good points, like how he's the smart one in this episode. Because after that, Ash goes, I goofed, like
You goofed real good, Ash.
Yeah, like he was Derp Guy from my college days. Have I ever told you the story of Derp Guy?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is back when I was in college, so a while ago.
Like, kind of a while ago.
15 or so years ago. So I was part of a group called the gamer club. We would play board games, sometimes video games, but mainly board games. And there was this guy that showed up, and he showed up to his first one, and he goes to someone, he goes, "Did you guys bring a Wii?" And the person's like, "Nope, no one brought a Wii today." And he just looks at her and goes, "Well, you dirt." And she's like, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "You dirt." She goes, "What?" He goes, "Just admit it, you're stupid." They tell you about, and then later on, and this happened maybe the next year or so, like he kept coming. No one was
Right.
really friends with this guy. And I'm sorry,
Right.
guy, you might be a good guy if you're listening to this, but you did not give off a good first impression.
But you're getting made fun of 15 years later.
Yeah. We were playing a game and he made a stupid mistake in the game and I lost it because he goes, "Man, I derped." He worked at the same dining center I worked at in college. I never worked with him. And so if you were at the if you were one of the full-time employees at the dining center, they gave you chef's pants that usually had like chili peppers on them. There were some that were black with white stripes. As a college employee of the dining center, your dress code was you just needed closed-toed shoes and jeans. You just wore jeans. He was the only college employee that had the chef's pants because when he got hired, he says he didn't have any jeans because he was that guy that wore cargo pants all year.
So he somehow found, well, I guess they gave him his own because he didn't
Yeah.
own a pair of jeans.
Yeah, so they
He was
gave him some chef
he was
pants.
he was lying because he just wanted a pair of chef pants.
Yeah, with chili peppers on them.
Gosh, now I want to know where Derp Guy is.
I do too. I don't know. Did he derp in life or did he derp himself up?
I hope he underped himself so
Yeah.
he could make a good life for himself. That's what I really hope.
Hey, if you're out there, tell us where you're at. Tell us about yourself.
Please reach out. Team Rocket's Magikarp submarine surfaces in Trovita River just as the speedboat appears. A target drops in front of Team Rocket, which is hit by Ash's Squirtle, and they're blasted off 7 minutes into this episode. You know, when Team Rocket is blasted off this early, then I'm going to have some complaints about this episode. Ash is pretty sure he heard Team Rocket get blasted off, but his Pokemon successfully hit all the targets, earning him a chance to fight for the Trovita Gym badge. Misty is happy for Ash, and Rudy does not like that one bit.
You know Rudy would be that guy who tells Misty she can never talk to Ash and not Brock ever again if she was with him.
Absolutely. Back on dry land, Rudy tells Ash to pick whatever element Pokemon he wants for the next day's battle, and Rudy will use the same, which seems dumb to me, but whatever. Have we ever seen gym leaders negotiating the terms of their battles like this before?
Well, not yet, but I mean that's kind of how these things have worked with the Orange Islands. Remember the first one where Ash needed a water Pokemon to get his first badge when there was a water race?
Not really.
I mean, this was before we went on the hiatus, so
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Rudy and Mari invite Misty to dinner and leave the rest of Team Ash out like me meal prepping for the week and then leaving the food out to cool off before putting it in the refrigerator, forgetting about it overnight, and then waking up to a week's worth of ruined taco soup or whatever I made. I did that last week and I can it's not good to wake up in the morning and the first emotion you feel is anger. Especially anger at yourself. It does not bode well for the day.
especially when you're excited about what you're going to eat.
Yeah. It was healthy buffalo chicken dip that I left out overnight and I was so pissed.
That sucks. I love
Yeah.
buffalo chicken
Yeah.
dip.
And it's not really, it doesn't taste any different than unhealthy buffalo chicken dip.
What makes
so
it healthy?
you don't do the actual cream cheese. You eat it with celery instead of Fritos.
I mean,
don't
that
remember
doesn't
what
make the
else.
dip healthy. That just makes what you're eating it with healthy.
When I say I mean healthy is relative, Jeff. but whatever I do to meal prep for the week and then leave it out and then get angry at myself, that takes us into
Who's that Pokemon?
All right. In our Who's That Pokemon for this week, we are going to be talking about Electabuzz.
I really wish you would have put the Electabuzz sound from this episode. You'll get to hear it later, folks, but it's one of my favorites.
Thought about doing that, but then it
Yeah.
would ruin how we do everything else. So,
Yeah, fair enough.
but yeah, so our Who's That Pokemon this week is Electabuzz, who in Japanese is named Elaboo.
Elaboo.
Elaboo. Some basic information on Electabuzz. It's number 125 in the Pokedex. It is an electric type, which these last three Pokemon have been electric types. Didn't plan it this way, but
Yeah.
been in an electric mood.
Deal with it. Deal with it, people. You're just getting electric Pokemon from now on.
Its height is 3 foot 7 inches and weighs 66.1 pounds. And its category is the electric Pokemon. And it evolves into Electivire when it is traded while holding an Electrizer.
I did not know Electabuzz had an evolution.
Again, kind of like Magneton, this is one of those evolutions that came with Generation 5, I believe.
Yeah.
So it was a later
edition.
You knew he had a baby form though, right?
What's it called?
Elekid?
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know Elekid existed.
Okay.
Electabuzz always tries to say it's not his, but we know the truth.
Some origin on Electabuzz. Its name. The name Electabuzz is a combination of electric or the prefix electro and buzz. Electric and electro refers to electricity or electrical energy, and then buzz describes the humming or vibrating sound often associated with electrical currents, transformers, or live wires. Together, the name evokes the idea of a creature surrounded by crackling electrical energy that produces a constant buzzing sound. The word also hints at its energetic and restless personality, as Electabuzz is frequently depicted generating and discharging electricity. Its Japanese name origin of Elebu comes from era, or from electric or electricity, and bu, which is believed to reference a buzzing sound similar to the onomatopoeic noise of electricity or humming machinery. The name focuses more on the sound and energy of electricity, reinforcing the Electabuzz's identity as a Pokemon constantly surrounded by electrical activity. What is Electabuzz based off of? First of all, it's based off of the Japanese Oni. One of the strongest influences is the Oni, a demon-like creature from Japanese folklore. Its shared features include the horns on the head, a humanoid body shape, a mischievous or aggressive expression, and large hands and powerful build. Oni are often portrayed as wild, energetic, and dangerous, traits that match Electabuzz's chaotic electrical abilities. It also has some tiger imagery. Electabuzz's body's pattern closely resembles tiger stripes, the yellow fur with black lightning-like stripes, a muscular predatory stance, and a wild, untamed aesthetic. Tigers are strongly associated with power and ferocity, and the striped pattern also doubles as a visual representation of electric arcs or bolts.
I just want to say, like, I've never thought about Electabuzz like being patterned after a tiger. I just don't think they're ever going to, like, the design of Pokemon is ever going to be better than the original 151. Some of their designs are so cool.
Yeah, people say that, but then I look at things, some of them are cool, but then you look at like Krabby, which is just a crab.
Okay, fair enough.
Voltorb and Electrode are just Pokeballs.
I mean, fair enough. They can't all be zingers, but overall, I'm saying they had a lot of the coolest like design Pokemon. And there are still Pokemon with really cool designs. I think Incineroar is awesome. It's one of my favorites from, like, I don't know when Incineroar came out. It was probably like Generation 2 or something.
I think Generation 6.
Oh,
I want to
okay,
say
so
6, but I'm
yes.
not sure. What else is Electabuzz based off of? Electrical equipment and energy. Electabuzz design also incorporates electrical concepts. Its antenna-like horns resemble electrical conductors, its body markings resemble lightning bolts, and its Pokedex entries mention it living near power plants and electrical facilities. These design choices reinforce the idea that Electabuzz is essentially a living electrical generator. Electabuzz's biology. Electabuzz is a slightly humanoid Pokemon with several feline features. Its ears are replaced by antennae with bulbous tips, and two long tufts of fur rise from the top of its head. It has small eyes and two large fangs protruding from its upper jaw. Its body is covered in yellow fur patterned with numerous black stripes. A large lightning bolt-shaped stripe runs across its chest, while a V-shaped marking appears on its forehead. Additional stripes decorate the sides, a thick band runs down its back, two bands circle each leg, and several broken bands mark its arms. Its long tail is ringed with multiple stripes. Electabuzz has 3 clawed toes on each foot, 2 facing forward and 1 backward, and 5 fingers on each hand. In darkness, Electabuzz glows faintly light blue due to the electrical charges coursing across its body. It constantly emits more electricity than it consumes, and anyone standing nearby may find their hair standing on end from the static energy. Electabuzz are known to gather around tall trees during storms, anticipating lightning strikes. During intense thunderstorms, they compete for positions where lightning is most likely to strike so they can absorb the electrical energy. Because it can absorb lightning without harm, Electabuzz is sometimes used in place of lightning rods. Members of its species can also communicate silently by transmitting electrical currents when they are close to one another. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Large groups of Electabuzz have occasionally been blamed for blackouts when they gather near power plants to feed on electricity. As a precaution, ground-type Pokemon are often stationed around such facilities to discourage these raids. though power outages are usually caused by the electric companies rather than Electabuzz themselves. Researchers have even explored the possibility of using Electabuzz to store lightning for later use. Shown in Pokemon the Series episode Showdown at Dark City. Do you remember that episode, Josh?
Nope. Was I on for it?
You were. Electabuzz can be provoked into rage by the color red. In battle, it often windmills.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
catch-up?
Yeah. I vaguely remember that.
Yes. In battle, it often windmills its arms to build momentum before striking, though this technique can leave it open to counterattacks. Electabuzz is most commonly found near power plants where electricity is plentiful, but it can also inhabit open grasslands.
Always thought Electabuzz was cool.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of Electabuzz.
Yeah.
All right, some Pokedex entries on Electabuzz. Red and Blue says, normally found near power plants, they can wander away and cause major blackouts in cities.
They derped. they elected derped.
Pokemon Yellow says, if a major power outage occurs, it is certain that this Pokemon has eaten electricity at a power plant. Pokemon Stadium says, appear in power plants in search of electricity. They are said to cause major blackouts if they disappear. So they just leave, and Pokemon Gold says electricity runs across the surface of its body. In darkness, its entire body glows a whitish blue. Pokemon Silver says its body constantly discharges electricity. Getting close to it will make your hair stand on end. Pokemon Crystal says when two Electabuzz touch, they control the electric currents to communicate their feelings.
Yeah, that's cool. That's super cool. That's how every time I'm near you, Jeff, I just know what you want and what you need from me.
Our electric.
The electric energy
The electric
coming
energy.
off of us.
Ruby and Sapphire says, when a storm arrives, gains of this Pokemon competes with each other to scale heights that are likely to be stricken by lightning bolts. Some towns use Electabuzz in place of lightning rods.
And just stick them up on the tops of buildings and
What?
lock the stair access door so they can't get down.
Yeah, this sounds kind of inhumane. Fire Red says it loves to feed on strong electricity. It occasionally appears around large power plants and so on.
And tell me more.
And so on. That's all it says. Diamond Pearl says half of all blackouts occur when this Pokemon appears at power plants and eats electricity. The other half are Magneton, as we learned, remember?
Mhm. Yep.
Pokemon Platinum says it windmills its arms to slightly boost its punches. Foes have been known to escape in the meantime. So it's just getting ready, and then it's like watching its arm, then looks, and they're gone. So this is another tangent. Lots of tangents this episode. This reminds me of, we used to have this cat. Now, when we got this cat, my brother named it MJ, and I thought it was stupid because I'm like, you're naming our cat Michael Jordan because this was around the time. No, he named it MJ because it stood for Midnight Junior, because we used to have a black cat named Midnight. This cat also was not the Midnight's kid, so I don't know. It was adopted. So one time my mom was sitting in our living room folding clothes, and we lived in a farmhouse, and this cat prances over and it has a mouse in its mouth. And it's so proud of itself. It's going all happy. It goes to my mom, sets the mouse down, looks up at my mom, and as it's looking at my mom, the mouse runs off. And then the cat looks down and just does a double take. Couldn't figure out where the mouse went.
You said you lived in a farmhouse, Jeff. You could have just said you lived in Iowa.
Thank you.
Because that's as far as I'm aware. I could be wrong. I might need to look this up, but I'm pretty sure all of Iowa is just one giant farmhouse.
And all of Alabama is related.
No, that's not true. We don't wear shoes, Jeff. And yes, some of us still have outhouses, but we're not all married to our sister. I'm not related to Chelsea, as far as I'm aware.
All right, Pokemon Sun. Half of all sudden blackouts are caused by Electabuzz gathering at electric power plants and gobbling up electricity. Pokemon Moon says electricity leaks from it in amounts far greater than the amounts of electricity it eats.
Where does it leak out of?
That's what I'm in greater amounts of what it eats. So is it just messy? It's just dribbling electricity?
Or is it just farting lightning bolts.
Pokemon Ultra Sun says it permeates its body. It swings its arms round and round to charge up electricity before unleashing a punch. Ultra Moon says while it's often blamed for power outages, the truth is the cause of outages is more often an error on part of the electric company.
they're, they're just cutting corners and blaming it on the Electabuzz.
I like whoever wrote the Ultra Moon, whatever professor. I think is it Professor Sycamore? I don't remember who's in the Alola region. They're
No
just
idea.
like, no, we're gonna take jabs at the electric company. Who cares about Electabuzz? Pokemon Sword says many power plants keep ground-type Pokemon around as a defense against Electabuzz that comes seeking electricity. Pokemon Shield says with the coming of a storm, many of these Pokemon will gather under tall trees and sit there waiting for lightning to strike. Why would you be under the tall tree? Then the tree would fall on you.
But they're waiting for the lightning to hit the tree so they can gobble it up.
And hope the tree doesn't fall on them.
Yeah, well, hey, that's a sacrifice they're willing to make.
Legends Arceus says, feeds on electrical energy during sudden showers beneath looming thunderclouds. One can observe Electabuzz scaling tall trees where the Pokemon will then wait for lightning to strike. See, that makes sense. It's going up the tree, not sitting under the tree.
Yeah. It's like when you go hunting and you have a tree house, but it's just at the very top. It's just that you're just at the very top waiting for lightning to strike.
And then the last one is Pokemon Violet says, research is progressing on storing lightning in Electabuzz so that energy can be used at any time. So I don't want to get into like the storing something in a living thing. That's weird, but
yeah,
that is our Who's That Pokemon segment on Electabuzz.
Who's that Pokemon?
Back in the episode, like a couple of true dudes, Ash and Not Brock crushed like $50 worth of fast food and FaceTime Professor Oak to catch him up on whatever is happening. And let me tell you, Professor Oak could not even begin to care.
They keep taking him away from Ash's mom. He is not happy. But you aren't even kidding about the fast food. For the two of them, since Misty is with Rudy, the whole table's covered in takeout boxes.
Yeah, for sure. Jeff, when we lived in the same city, like half of our time spent together was at Taco Bell.
The other half was in the bathroom.
Exactly. Not Brock shows Professor Oak a picture of something he drew that he saw in the woods. It says, very disinterested. Interesting. Then Ash starts being and seeing about the fact that he's paying for the video call and how much time Not Brock is wasting, which is such an old man thing to do. To call long distance just to chat and then complain about how much it costs. For those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, people used to have to call. Used to have to pay to call long distance.
Josh, I do want to ask, did you notice what the picture was that Not Brock was holding up?
I did not.
Okay, so it was a picture of an Ella kid because it showed its like little antenna.
Oh, okay.
The timeline is muddled, and I said this at the beginning of the episode because at the time of this episode airing in Japan, the kid had not been revealed yet. So it was kind of cool because this was the reveal of a new Pokemon because, you know, we're getting ready for Johto to come out. But the problem is, in the United States, we already have seen Pokemon the movie 2000, which was out that summer.
Okay.
And Elekid made his debut during the Pikachu short, which we'll be talking about in a few weeks because when I figure out the schedule we're doing these, we follow the Japanese release schedule, so it kind of fits the storyline a little better.
Okay. Meanwhile, Rudy and Mari feed Misty and Togepi a meal fit for a queen, and then Mari says she's always wanted a big sister, and the look on Rudy's face says, I'm not trying to make her my sister, you idiot child.
So I didn't read it that way. I think Rudy conned her into saying that so that he could guilt trip Misty into staying with them.
He kind of like smiles and plays it off, but you got to get his face. Like, you got to see his face as she's saying it or right when she begins saying it. He looks scandalized. To deflect, Rudy suggests they take Misty to meet their Pokemon. They go to the gym and find all of Rudy's Pokemon dancing. And Jeff, can we just get audio of the entire gym scene so that people can hear the music and just the strange conversation that's had here?
The Pokemon are all dancing.
I don't think it's enough to just teach Pokemon a lot of attacks. I found that the Pokemon's abilities can improve and change if they learn to do something completely new and different.
That's why my brother gives all of our Pokemon dancing lessons.
So, Misty, shall we dance?
Huh? Come on, Togepi!
try. Hey! It'd be really great if you could stay here for good, Misty. Mari'd be so happy if you did.
Oh, I don't know.
Please think about it and give me your answer after the match tomorrow.
Give me your answer, Misty, or I'll kill you. That's the vibe I get off Rudy.
See, the vibe I'm getting is, stay with me, Misty, and you can live here forever.
Yeah, his whole vibe is just, it's super off-putting to me. Somewhere on one of those mountain rock things that Ash wasn't sure what they were earlier, Team Rocket's Magikarp submarine. Is it a submacart? Magarine? I don't know. I'm not clever enough for
It
this
almost
one.
looked like you wrote margarine.
Yeah, I'm not smart enough for this one. Meowth sneezes and their submarine falls back into the whirlpool, and this is just one of those episodes that I'm gonna hate on principle because Team Rocket gets the shaft. The next day, Team Ash and Rudy take a hot air balloon out to the battlefield. Ash says he's here to battle, and it's like, yeah, that's how this works. Rudy tells Ash to throw out an electric Pokemon, so Ash chooses Pikachu, obviously, and Rudy chooses Electabuzz. I don't really understand using the same type of Pokemon against your opponent. It seems like the worst possible strategy for Pokemon battles, but what do I know?
I guess it's to show who can win with the best strategy because you are taking type advantages out of the equation.
That's okay. That's fair. I can see that. I think my favorite thing from this whole battle is that the announcer is riding around on a Pidgeot while commentating the match. That cracked me up every time they would show him just flying around on his Pidgeot. Pikachu shocks Electabuzz, which only recharges it, which, I don't know. I changed my mind. It's not as stupid as I thought it was, choosing the same type. They're the same type of Pokemon.
What was stupid was Ash choosing to use the electric attack.
Okay, yeah, okay. Maybe that's why I thought it was stupid, because Ash is stupid. Electabuzz attacks back, and can we this is my favorite part of the episode. Can we get audio of Electabuzz's battle cry?
Oh, wrong one.
No, not that one. The one from the episode. For a split second, I was about to get really mad at you, thinking that you didn't have the one from the episode ready to go, and I was about to stop the whole thing and make you go get it, and then we could start recording again.
No, we're good. We're good. Here it is, guys.
I choose Electabuzz!
Do you have the one where he's running at
No, I
Pikachu?
don't. Sorry.
That's the one I wanted. So
Well, you didn't tell me which one. You just said
I
his battle
did.
cry.
His battle cry. Well, okay, yeah, I guess so. Fair enough. Can we at least hear it one more time? Because that one's still pretty funny.
I choose Electabuzz!
The one when Electabuzz runs is like a longer, more exaggerated version of that. I guess you'll just have to imagine it since Jeff got the wrong audio clip.
Sorry, guys.
That might partially also be my fault. Electabuzz thunder punches Pikachu, and Pikachu nearly flies off the arena. Ash catches Pikachu, but Pikachu is defeated.
All right, before we go on from this battle, I do want to say, like you, I've always had a soft spot for Electabuzz's voice. They could have easily just have an electronic sounding like Electabuzz, but instead they got audio of a grandpa asking for a pack of smokes.
Mari asks Missy what Rudy asked her last night, referring to his offer for her to stay. And Missy looks conflicted, just as Ash throws out Bulbasaur and Rudy throws out Executor. Bulbasaur hits Executor with Razor Leaf, but Executor dances right around it.
Yeah, which I put down as cheating because here's what happens. Rudy gets out a boombox. Josh, explain a boombox to our younger listeners.
Gosh, I need more time. I needed more time to prepare for this. Boomboxes are like Spotify if your phone was the size of like 3 open laptop computers put together. but only if Spotify had one like album's worth of songs on it. If there were only like 8 songs on Spotify. But if you wanted to listen to another Spotify playlist, you had to put a compact disc in, which looks like, well, I can't say, it's like a video game disc, but it has music on it. I almost said a CD, but then I would have to explain what a CD is.
So he starts playing music on his boombox, and like that is, which Speaking of that, Jesse and I were watching a YouTube video earlier today about we watched this guy who will be like, this is what you need to buy at Sam's Club or Costco in March or whatever, like new things. One of the things on that list that's coming to Sam's Club this month is a Bluetooth player that looks like a boombox.
It's probably the Gen Z kids are probably bringing it back.
Yeah,
the
because
Zoomers.
But yeah, so doesn't that like give his Pokemon an advantage?
Yeah, I mean at this point he might as well be given the Electabuzz the Executor steroids.
You know what? I originally had the joke and they're saying, that'd be like Jack going, I only let my Pokemon battle if there's injected with steroids.
Little GHB or not GHB.
I don't know.
Oh, it's HGH. I'm stupid. The human growth hormone. HGH. Fortunately for Ash, Bulbasaur's sleep powder knocks Executor out, and it falls asleep and slides off the end of the rock arena towards the sea below. At the same time, Team Rocket is climbing the rock face just as Executor falls towards them, and they go flying back down into the water. That's 3 times this episode. That's egregious. Like, I feel like there's a correlation between the number of times Team Rocket is blasted off and how much I'm going to like an episode. Like, once is perfect. It doesn't mean the episode is going to be perfect, but once is just right because it's earned at the end of the episode. Twice can be done well if it's done for a joke, but any more than that, and it's just an automatic nah for me. Bulbasaur's vines save Executor from falling to a watery grave, which Rudy respects.
Okay, sorry, I'm going to pull back the curtain a bit because usually I'll correct Josh's misspellings if it's an actual word, but I kept this one intact because our outline says Bulbasaur's vibes save Executor.
He was just super chill. He was vibing and,
I mean, they both have leaves.
Yeah, I know. He had to. I mean, he's literally the grass Pokemon.
Yeah. And going on that, Rudy is lucky Ash has a heart because he almost lost Executor there. Like Executor was gonna die.
Don't you also love how I horribly misspelled Executor and I was not about to look it up? Rudy throws out Starmie and dedicates the battle to Misty, and Ash throws out Squirtle. Both Pokemon cast Water Gun, which is so dumb, until Rudy puts on that same god-awful 80s jazzercise music, and Starmie starts dancing and dodging Squirtle's Water Gun. Starmie starts spinning and can apparently cast Thunderbolt, which is honestly pretty dope. But it's not very dope for Squirtle.
That is actually one of the cool reasons to get Starmie in the games. They can learn Thunderbolt there as well. So they took something from the games.
I actually did not know that. I might have tried to get more Starmie if I knew they could cast Thunderbolt. Misty, no longer conflicted, chooses her mans and starts screaming at Ash to stop being a pansy and win this battle. She's back in Misty form. I was like, I don't like this like starstruck love bombed Misty. I love Misty with an attitude. This awakens the lion in Ash and he gets Squirtle out of a shocking loss. Rudy gets all glassy eyed when he realizes Misty wants Ash and Squirtle hydro pumps Starmie into the dirt.
So, fun fact, when Squirtle uses hydro pump, so how Squirtle uses hydro pump is he pulls into his shell and spins around while water sprays out of every opening, like where his head and arms and legs are. Japanese viewers would immediately recognize that as a reference to Gamera's spinning jet, and Gamera is the giant turtle from a long-running kaiju film series where he battles other massive monsters. While looking at research, Gamera's had like 12 movies, but then while looking things up, he just also had like a new TV series that was produced by Netflix in Japan.
Interesting. Squirtle wins, and that makes Ash the winner, too. Usually I'm hoping for Ash's demise, but I'm happy to see him beat a douche canoe like Rudy and earn the Spike Shell badge, which I think looks pretty cool.
Yeah, and then in Japanese, it's called the Rinbu badge because it gets its name from Rinbu Gai, which we know as in English. I mean, I don't know it as this, but this is what my research told me.
I'm like, do we know that, Jeff? Because I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what 90% of the words in this sentence mean.
These ecologists that they were trying to hire at the Pokemon Company may know this.
Yeah.
As triumphant sky turban, a particular kind of shell that it looks like, but in English, like, it's a spiky shell badge.
That evening, as Team Ash says goodbye to Rudy, Rudy gives Misty flowers, but this time they're an acknowledgement that Misty will never be his girl. He tells Ash that he's a lucky guy, which Ash doesn't understand what he's talking about. And Rudy tells him that he'll understand one day. But what I don't understand is why it took us half a season to travel like 10 miles over this island to get to this gym and to the end of this episode.
What were your thoughts on this episode?
Yeah, this episode was a big derp out of 10 for me. It's like how are the filler episodes before this one more fun than the actual gym leader episode?
Yeah. Yeah, I thought this episode was boring too. Let's just face it, episode, you derped. Just admit it, you're stupid. Uh, Rudy is a very unlikable character, and I don't even know if they meant him to come off that way. Like when Brock creeps on a girl, it is comedic. A little cringy. Not cringy. Rudy is cringy. Brock is like, we know that's how Brock is, but
Yeah.
he does it in a comedic way. We all know
Right.
Brock's going to hit on the girl.
You know he's got a good heart. This guy
Yeah.
just gives off like really toxic like crypto bro energy.
Yeah.
Like if this episode were made today, he would definitely be into crypto.
Yeah, and so I gave this episode like a 2 out of 10, which is sad since it's a gym leader episode, and this is what every other episode should lead to.
I know.
This is probably the worst episode we have watched since coming back.
Yeah. Just face it, you done derped.
He done dirt. And let me mention, I would even put the Wherefore Out the Pokemon, and I hated that episode, so.
Yeah.
All right, so on to our question of the week. And so based off of Rudy and how Ash did not care for him, we are going to ask the question, what kind of person instantly annoys you?
Without question, the type of person that loves to dish it out but cannot take it.
Yeah, I get that.
Immediately I'm just like, this guy is not my kind of guy.
Yeah. Also to add to that, I hate people who just refuse to understand that they are not the best thing on earth.
Yeah. When you say that, is it like they just think like they're good at everything? Like even like they don't listen to doctors because they think they know more than the doctor.
Yeah, or they
Yeah.
just complain constantly, and I guess that's also kind of what I hate people who complain all the time and complain for the dumbest things. Someone who, and you're just smiling and nodding. You're like, yep.
Okay. It's like, okay. No.
All right. So if you want to answer our question, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Pokémon Snapshot or send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We will post short clips on both platforms. And if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, I know I ask this every time. Anything else to add, Josh?
I have nothing of substance to say, Jeff, ever.
Okay, well, you derped.
It's gonna be really hard for me not to continue using the derp in the upcoming episodes because it's so funny to me.
If we ever get Tyler back, you can ask him about Derp Guy if he remembers him.
I cannot wait for that.
So please join us next time when we will be watching Bound for Trouble.
Ooh, sounds kinky.
The greatest master of them all.